everyone, it's Olivia from Girlybunches, and in this week's video I'm going to be showing you this really pretty textured stitch. It's called a marshmallow stitch. That's marshmallow stitch or mallow marshmallow stitch. It's lovely. I think it's got a great texture to it. It's great on both sides. I think, you know, it's quite cute on that side, and this side just has this wicked dimension to it. Lovely texture, which is great for these plain yarns. I think this would be fab for a baby blanket because it's kind of got the warmth to it that you need, but also it's very light. So, you know, it's yeah, it has a nice and it has these sort of ventilation holes too, so it wouldn't be too heavy for laying it over baby. And yeah, I think it's a really cute stitch, and I really hope you enjoy this video. So let's get on and show you how I did it. Just quickly just tell you, this is in a double knit yarn, and I used a 4mm hook, obviously, but you would use the hook size for the yarn that you wanted to use. Okay, let's get on and show you how to do this. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a slip knot onto my hook, and I'm going to chain 21 stitches because this pattern is worked over a multiple of 4 plus 1. Okay, so we've got our 21 chains. Now we're going to work into the 6th chain from the hook. So that's, we're looking for those bits that come down here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's how you can see where your chains are, where that bit goes across like that. So we found the 6th one, and into that 6th one we're going to do a treble. So you might know that as a double crochet, but I'm British, so I call that a treble. Both exactly the same stitch, just a different name, and I call it that because that's how I learnt. Okay, so into that same space, I did 2 chains there, and now into that same space where I did that treble, I'm going to do another treble. So you can see that, I hope. And then I'm going to repeat that all the way along, but this time I'm going to skip 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, and into that 4th one there I'm going to do my treble, 2 chains, and then the treble into that same space there. So skip 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th one along you just repeat that all the way to the end. And then when you have 3 stitches left on your hook, you just do a treble into that last one on the end. So you're only skipping 2 at the end, 1, 2, and then to your 3rd one do your treble. So it's just like, you know, sort of like this end. So now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and turn the work, and now we're going to do a front post stitch. So to do that, it's going to be a treble. So to do that, you need to put the yarn over the hook because that's how you start off every treble. And then you put the hook down behind the stitch, like that post there. Grab the yarn and pull it through, and then you just do it as normal. Yarn over and through the first 2 loops, yarn over through the first 2 loops, and you've just got that front post stitch wrapped around that treble from the previous round. Okay, so now we're going to do 3 trebles into that 2 chain space. That's 1, 2, 3, and then just shimmy them over a little bit, do 1 chain, and then do 3 trebles into that same space. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 front post stitches together. So if you've never done a stitch together, so I'm just going to show you how to do a together stitch now. And I'm just going to do it in this space here just for an example. I do have more in-depth videos up here in the link up here and in the description box down there, but just quickly show you what you would do. So we're just going to do a normal treble. So you just start it off, but you stop when you have those 2 loops on your hook. You don't finish it off, but you start doing the next stitch just as you normally would. So that's the loop through the first 2 loops. When you've got the amount of stitches in that you want to crochet together, you then finish it off. So you put the yarn over and put it through all of the loops that you have on your hook. So you can see there that that's slightly different to doing just 2 standard trebles, because you only end up with 1 loop at the top as opposed to having 2 like you've got here. They're separated. Okay, so that's essentially how you do them together, but the front post stitch together is the same principle, only you're working that stitch around this front post. So yarn over, hook behind, grab the yarn, and then we're going to put the yarn over and put it through those first 2 loops. Then we're not going to finish that stitch, we're going to carry on and do the same thing around that next treble along. So put the hook behind the stitch, grab the yarn, pull it through, put the yarn over and through the first 2 loops, and now we're going to finish off those stitches because it was just 2 stitches together, and finish that off like that. So we've worked it around the front post of those 2 stitches together, so you only end up with 1 loop at the top. Now into that 2 chain space, we're just going to do what we did before, which is 3 trebles, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 1 chain, and then move those over a little bit, and again 3 trebles into that same space there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we've kind of got this fan shape going on. Okay, so we're going to do 2 front post trebles together again. So yarn over the hook, put the hook down behind the post, grab the yarn, pull it through, grab the yarn, put it through the first 2 loops, leave those 2 loops on the hook, grab the yarn, put the hook down behind that stitch, that post stitch, grab the yarn over, put it through the first 2 loops, and now we're going to finish off those all together by yarn over and all through 3 loops like so. Okay, so what that does is it's pushing this forward to give us this sort of nice shape that we're going to end up with. Okay, so okay, now we're just going to finish off by doing a 1 front post treble around just that 1 stitch there. So we're only doing 1 this time, like we did when we first started, and then we're just going to do a treble now into that 3rd chain that we did at the beginning to represent our first treble. Okay, so there's our 2nd row done. So it looks like it's fanning out a bit, but that's fine, that's okay, that doesn't matter. So we're going to do 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, turn the work, and this row is super simple. We're just going to find that chain space in the middle of those trebles and do a treble, 2 chains, 1, 2, and then a treble into that same space there. And as you can see, that's now setting it up so that we've got, you know, these posts here ready to do this shell shape here. So you just keep doing that now, so no chains in between them, and you just keep doing 2 trebles, well, 1 treble, 2 chains and 2 trebles into each of those 1 chain spaces that you did in the middle of your fan. Okay, hope you can see that. And then when you get to the end here, you're just going to do 1 treble into the top of that 3rd chain that we did to replace our first treble on that 2nd row, and then that brings that up nicely. So when you turn it around, you can see it's making this lovely pattern and texture. So that's it. You would just repeat the 2nd row now, and then the 3rd row you would repeat the third row afterwards. So I'm just going to do a couple more rows and I shall come back and show you the finished result. Okay, so there you go. I've just finished off a couple more rows there and finished off on a row that had the obviously not the fan part. So yeah, I really like this. It's gorgeous, I think. And some texture in your crochet work, especially if you're using just one colour yarn like this. It just sort of gives it that nice shading to it. And yeah, I think it would look great in a variegated yarn too, but I think, you know, it really does sort of accentuate plain colours too. You know, it's not always necessary to have big vibrant colours, so this just gives a nice dimension, I think. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like these kinds of tutorials. If you do, why not subscribe to my channel? There's that big red button with a white arrow in it. If you just hit that button, that tells YouTube that you want to see more of my channel, and it will let you know when I've uploaded a new video. So if you have already subscribed, why not give me a thumbs up? I would love it if you did. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the description, in the comments box down below. I say that every time. It's always the comments box. I write in the description box. And that reminds me, there was lots of useful links down in my description box underneath this video. If you just click where it says show more, you'll see I've written loads of stuff in there for you guys. And yeah, I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye. Hi everyone, it's Olivia from Girlybunches, and in this week's video I'm going to be showing you how to do this mitered granny square. It's very simple, no more difficult than doing a normal granny square.